You are sitting in the weekly sync, and suddenly, a senior colleague levels an unfair, highly visible criticism directly at your work. In a split second, you are forced into a corner. If you react immediately and defend yourself, you risk looking defensive and emotional to the rest of the room. If you stay silent and absorb the blow, you risk looking incompetent and validating their claim. Welcome to Corporate Elevate. We analyze the complex dynamics of office politics, leadership, and corporate learning to help you navigate the modern workplace. Protecting your professional standing in these moments depends on applying calculated, strategic judgment before the situation escalates. Many professionals drain their political capital by defaulting to extremes. Take the overreactor archetype. This is the employee who treats every minor difference in process preference or harmless comment as a battle that must be won. Constant friction damages their credibility. By fighting every battle, they are quickly labeled by leadership as difficult, rigid, and ultimately immature. On the opposite end of the spectrum is the silent sufferer. This employee avoids conflict at all costs, remaining quiet even when faced with high-stakes issues like direct credit theft or false accusations. A lack of communication during severe ethical violations actively stunts career growth. When you fail to challenge bad behavior, toxicity festers and becomes the accepted norm for your working environment. Both chronic overreaction and persistent silence erode your ability to influence your environment, leaving your professional standing vulnerable. To separate the low-stakes annoyances from actual career threats, you need an objective analytical framework. We call it the Fight Back Decision Matrix. This matrix shows 4 distinct variables we must weigh in any conflict, plotted on the y-axis: impact on career, reputation risk, ethical concern, and business impact. Across the x-axis, we scale them from low to high. If we plot a minor disagreement over work styles onto this grid, the data points cluster cleanly in the low column. This is your safe zone. It costs you nothing to let it go. But watch what happens when we map career-impacting misinformation. The data immediately jumps to the high column in stark red. This triggers a clear mandate to fight back. Measuring the stakes objectively filters out your emotional bias. It allows you to conserve your energy exclusively for battles that directly impact organizational success. If you are finding value in this framework, join a community of strategic thinkers by liking, sharing, and subscribing for continuous professional development. Whether you use that matrix to push back or yield, one foundational rule applies to every single interaction. You must absolutely protect your professional reputation. Executive presence takes years to build, but public arguments, participation in office gossip, or venting emotions on social media will destroy it overnight. This executive presence and reputation wheel illustrates the specific behaviors that create resilience against office politics. The central hub is balance, supported by delivering quality work, maintaining clear communication, and taking ethical action even under pressure. In the corporate arena, your professional credibility is the baseline currency that dictates your overall influence and your long-term trajectory. When a high-stakes issue does trigger that mandate to fight back, you need a tactical playbook to challenge the issue without resorting to an emotional confrontation. The response framework begins with 3 internal steps: assess the immediate stakes, evaluate the long-term impact, and heavily document the facts and evidence. This flowchart illustrates the 6-step escalation ladder. After the internal work is done, you move upward. Choose the lowest effective communication response, escalate only to the appropriate stakeholders, and finally, review the outcomes to learn from the experience. Addressing the issue through this structured sequence presents your case through the lens of mature leadership rather than personal grievance. To see this in practice, consider a case study of 2 colleagues facing the exact same unfair attack on their reputation. Colleague A reacts strictly on instinct. They compile 0 documentation and initiate a loud public argument in the hallway. They damage their own credibility and confirm the negative perception surrounding them. Colleague B utilizes the escalation ladder. They calmly compile the relevant emails, maintain their professionalism, and methodically engage the right stakeholders with hard facts to cleanly clear their name. Navigating these interactions effectively requires balancing three core priorities: acting on high-stakes issues, ignoring minor friction, and prioritizing your reputation above the immediate argument. Long-term professional growth often rests on the ability to distinguish between a minor distraction and a strategic necessity. Like, share, and subscribe to Corporate Elevate to continue mastering your workplace strategy. Thanks for watching.